An embarrassment, and a highly illegal act. On this day in history, November 21st, 1986, Oliver North, a staff member of the National Security Council under President Ronald Reagan, along with his secretary Fawn Hall, began shredding documents that would have exposed senior officials of the Reagan administration's participation in the sale of illegal firearms to Iran and the division of the proceeds to a rebel Nicaraguan group. Known as the Iran-Contra scandal, the Contras were an anti-Sandinista, anti-communist, right-wing rebel group that waged a guerrilla war against the Marxist Sandinista Front and the Junta of National Reconstruction. Under the Boland Amendments, a series of legislative amendments passed by Congress, the U.S. aimed at limiting government assistance to the Contras by restricting aid. However, the opposite occurred. The Reagan administration continued to fund them secretly using non-appropriated funds. 6 years earlier, Iran had become an enemy when the U.S. embassy was stormed and the Iran hostage crisis began. At the time, President Reagan repeatedly stated that the United States would never deal with terrorists, but his words blew up in his face when the revelation surfaced that his top officials at the NSC had begun secretly selling arms to Iran under the table and behind America's back. The justification for arms shipment was that they were part of an attempt to free 7 U.S. hostages being held by Hezbollah. Essentially, the U.S. sold arms to Iran, and then Iran in turn was to influence Hezbollah to release the hostages. The funds that Iran used to buy the weapons were then funneled to the Contras in Nicaragua, which the NSC believed would circumvent the Boland Amendments. During the Iran-Contra hearings, the public quickly learned about the money trail and the backdoor deals and loop that the Reagan administration was involved with, and that the U.S. government was supporting the Contras instead of the legitimately elected government of Nicaragua. Oliver North, at the center of the entire mess, claimed that the whole Reagan administration had been aware of the illegal activities. However, in the end, he admitted that he had lied to Congress. He was convicted of shredding documents, obstruction of justice, and illegally receiving a security fence for his own residence. Despite all the convictions, he was only given a fine, probation, and community service, a very light sentence compared to what could have been. In 1990, an appellate court voted 2-1 to overturn his conviction, citing the possibility that some of the evidence may have originated from testimony that Congress had immunized during its own hearing. Although no longer with us, both President Reagan and then VP and eventual President George Bush maintained that they had no knowledge of the situation. If you've learned something, consider dropping a like and subscribing to my channel. Your support would mean the world to me.